Imagine walking into a dealership and you see these three parked right beside each other. What's the first question that comes up in your mind? For me, it would be, which one am I able to afford, and confirm with my wife, of course. Something that most car salespeople hear all the time. When I first decided to review these three, I knew little about them in terms of brake horsepower or even price. I did know that they're very different, the Audi A5 being the slowest, the S5 being slightly faster, and the RS5 to be the leader. Of course, with more horsepower and cost almost the same as the other two combined. So I decided to take them for a test drive, one by one. I reached out to my good friend Chris from Audi Brampton if he had them available, and luckily he did. All these three have many things in common. Well, first is that they come from the same brand. They're sportbacks, they have similar cabin space, they have similar technology, and of course depends on the trim you pick. I took the base model A5, and here's what I learned after driving it. Smooth ride, soft suspension, even in dynamic mode. The transmission is very responsive, the exhaust sound is noticeable, the cabin noise is within the range, of course we did our test. The engine will make you smile if you use it in manual mode. I wasn't impressed with the brakes, but that's because I was driving like it was an RS5. If you care very little about power and you just need enough power to overtake a slow Honda, this will do just fine. Comfortable ride, fine seats, and perfect position, I must say. Next, I decided to jump on the S5 Technic, and first I drove it in normal mode to find out the ride quality and of course the cabin noise. The ride was slightly stiffer than the A5, about 20%. The cabin noise was very different, slightly higher in the S5. Of course, the exhaust sound didn't help much. I got bored driving it like a grandmother and switched it to dynamic mode. Now this blew my mind completely. What a difference. Stiffer steering by 40%. Engine responsiveness was much better. It felt like mechanics were under the hood and they switched the engines and gave me a new one with more horsepower. The suspension system went stiffer by 50%. I don't think you can hold a cup of coffee as a passenger. I switched into manual mode. What a difference. It felt like the transmission was switching gears faster than I could press the paddle shifter. The exhaust sound changed as well. Braking performance was better as well. A huge difference between the A5 to S5. All pumped up and ready to drive the RS5 with the top trim. The beast, the most expensive out of three. I felt like going from a Visa card to an Amex Platinum. Nice interior, although very similar to the S5. Seats felt like a proper track car, yet with a touch of luxury. I first drove it in regular mode, did the cabin noise test. Unlike the A5 versus the S5, the difference wasn't massive, slightly different. Ride quality was slightly stiffer in the S5, even in normal mode. Then I switched into dynamic mode. The difference wasn't there. From A5 to S5 was like going from McDonald's to a proper burger place. Everything was 10 to 20% different, not to the point to make you go, whoa, like I did with the S5. The exhaust sound was louder, even in normal mode. Brakes were different, almost glued to the ground. Just a touch of the brake pedal and you went from 100 to 0, faster than you can unlock your phone with the fingerprint option. I didn't feel the difference I had from the A5 to the S5. That's not to say that the RS5 isn't a great vehicle. The opposite, actually a beast-looking sportback, aggressive style and very easy to identify. It will probably do far better on a track than the other two. To wrap up, which one I would buy? The S5 ticked all the boxes: price, power, comfort. The RS5 for me didn't tick one box: price. Not sure if it justifies the double price from the S5. If you have the cash, of course, the RS5 will make you smile when you drive it and of course when you look at it. That was it for today. Oh, and one last thing, don't forget to subscribe for more videos. Cheers!